So I told you that I'm writing a book and it's about overcoming anxiety. And so I want to talk today about one of the things that I think is super important in terms of a strategy or a tool that you can use when you're feeling overwhelmed or in an anxiety. And one of them is taking a look at your exposure to things. Who are you spending your time with? What are the things you're talking about? And what kind of media are you allowing in your life? I don't just mean, obviously we have a political landscape at the moment. That's not what I'm really talking about. If those things sort of trigger you, then absolutely, if you're worried about who's going to be our next leader and those sorts of things, then I'm not saying don't expose yourself at all. I'm just saying expose yourself when you're feeling okay about it, not when you're already anxious is certainly one tip. Another tip is try not to expose yourself too much. So if you absolutely must know what's going on each day, then take one part of the day and do that thing, gather your information for the day and then let it go. Then move on. And don't allow it to take up your entire day of thoughts, because there's so many better things to think about. We can't control, aside from going to vote and doing, the political process, we can't decide who that's going to be other than doing our part. And then we need to let it go, because holding on to it is not going to serve us in any way, shape, or form. If that's looking at media about the health situation, in whatever form that is, coronavirus or any other disease or whatever, if that trips you up, then lower your exposure or lessen it by a lot. Maybe take a baseline one day and go, okay, well, I looked at social media several times today, or I looked at the news, or I read the paper, or whatever, and then just make it less. If you only do it once a day, but it still triggers you, then do it for less time. Only allow yourself a certain amount of time, and then figure out a way to let it go. I'm going to keep talking about some other tips that you can do in order to, once you are triggered, deal with a response, like a tool to use, or tools to use. But that's my thing today. Really, the first part of change is awareness. What is going on? What's triggering you? What is upsetting to you? Where are you having emotional responses? And then lessening those so that you don't go into response or reaction, reaction right away, or often, right? So exposing less. And so that's my tip for today. I hope that's helpful. It certainly helps me when I'm getting overwhelmed by things. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace.